Alright, for the first time we are on the ground. Out of the Lookup Foundation, Lookup Basement, we are right here on the field. We are right here to have an artistic conversation with Victor Omondi, alias the famous color Alchemist. So this is an engagement, artistic engagement. We're going to have a conversation, but this conversation leo tunaifanya nje. Unajua tumezoea kuweza kufanya haya mazungumzo kwenye studio, lakini siku ya leo itakuwa ni bayana kuweza kuzungumzia haya mambo kwa ground. But the engagement is rather artistic. So join us even as we engage with Victor Omondi to get the emphasis on art. Of course they say kwa ground vitu ni different. So let's come on board and see how artistically it is different. See you then. What's up?
Karibu sana.
Pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
Karibu ingia.
Okay, thank you. All right. Alright, well, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Thursday now, since of course you're not in studio. We've just taken a glimpse to understand how things operate on the other side. Now, out of the basement and Lookup Television, we are on the morning drift and giving an emphasis on the artistic Thursday. I'm so happy that you're joining us and feeling the comfort of this particular environment. So ladies and gentlemen, if it's your first time, remember you can join us in the conversation on Facebook and YouTube. Use the hashtag The Morning Drift and of course use the hashtag Artistic Thursday. Of course, now you'll allow us now to introduce our guest who's welcoming us in his home office.
Thank you so much, Moses. Victor Omondi is my name. I'm an artist based in Nairobi.
Indeed.
I mostly paint urban landscapes, cars, using, my style is contemporary realism.
Amazing.
Contemporary realism is basically the accurate and detailed depiction of day-to-day life, people, cars, architecture, and that's what I share with the world. Yeah.
It's nice to see you. Najua wenyewe of course tumekuwa tukiongelea story for quite some time. Na it's a good thing that sasa leo tume accomplish.
I'm happy it's happening.
How do you feel this morning?
I'm excited. I'll get this opportunity to share my art with the world. And aspiring artists, hopefully they learn something out of this by the end of this interview.
Indeed. Yeah. All right, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this since, seriously, professionally. I started during the COVID period because most of us we lost our jobs, our sources of incomes. So I decided to try something different and new that will keep me busy and will act as an escape from what was happening during that period. And yeah, so far so good. So there were struggles there. Yes, kunini, lockdown, kuka indoors sana. So hili kunatusaidia sana to escape the reality so at that time.
Hauko na passion story? Ili come to because you're in a lockdown.
Nilikuwa nayo, but haikukuwa hivyo, sikuitake seriously. Nilikuwa nafanya because you remember I was doing other jobs, like so I was employed as a graphic designer, so I wasn't painting as much as I'd love to. But sasa COVID ilinisaidia, but sasa siko najua. Ikaleta hiyo, yes, ilingia opportunity ya kutry things that are a bit different.
Amazing. Yeah. So kuna msana watch sahi and of course anaweza taka kujua so nani alikamaje to life, Victor Omondi alikamaje to life, na so how did you begin your journey towards art, towards this kind of art? You mentioned something in COVID, then sasa embrace sasa fully. So how has the journey been?
Yeah, the journey like just like any other journey, imekuwa na ups and downs. So when I started, that was around, I can't even remember, but I think I was around 4 or 5 when we used to play with the crayons. Amazing. In class, at home. Yeah, because you remember that time that was before the digital age. So yeah, that was what we used to do for fun. And also what helped we used to have this competition with fellow classmates, how to sketch, painting.
Yes, ni kitambo sana.
Kitambo sana bana. And yeah, that helped us hone our skills without even realizing it. And yeah, I didn't know it could end up being a career. And luckily, hapa ndio tuko sasa, tumefika.
Hapa ndio tuko.
Yes.
So many years ago. So saini tumesema ni? How many years so far?
So professionally,
Indeed.
Since 2020, that's like 5
years.
Yeah.
So tukiongeza na hiyo kwanzia utotoni.
Hiyo kwanzia utotoni, wacha tu ni mingi.
Mingi sana.
Yeah.
You've embraced this now for quite some time. Hii ni kitu yenye ulikuwa umeanza now when you're young, and now you're embracing it to the fullest.
Yep.
It's coming now to become something that can bring food on the table.
Yes.
There's an artist watching us out there and wonders. Mimi nimekuwa na passion from early ages as that, but nimefika maybe high school and the dream is shattered. So how will I work on that?
Mi kitu naweza waambia kwanza, them they have an advantage of doing this in the digital age, because I realized it's easier. This is an advantage that was never there before, because they can get to share their work online, and they'll get so many people who are interested in their art. And yeah, earn a living out of that. Yes.
So ukiangalia sahi, what's the motivation in it? We've learned that you're pursuing this na ilianza hiyo time.
Yes.
Now of course now unasema mimi naweza chapa vitu deadly design. So you want to start this. So what really motivated you?
There are people who showed interest, and I realized the money is actually something that you can earn a living from. So money was also a motivation. I won't lie about that. And but what I get as inspiration is the day-to-day life, showing aspects of the city, people, life, and mostly what makes Nairobi stand out from any other city. Yeah, that's where I get my inspiration mostly from.
All right,
yeah, and it also helps me to stand out from from the other artists. So I'm not saying that they are bad, but most of them are doing things that are quite similar.
Indeed.
Yes.
So of course ukiangalia art yako unaweza rate aje?
Rate yangu wewe uniambie, but personally imekuwa improve over time. Indeed. So yeah, it keeps getting better and better, and I'm happy with where I am.
All right, so let's talk a little bit on the name, the Alchemist, the color Alchemist. What does that mean? Because actually I didn't know that it was Victor Omondi until recently. But sasa kuna historia the color Alchemist. How did it come to life?
I can't remember. Where did it come from? I had a friend who used to use that word, the alchemist. Yeah, anything good he saw was saying, this was made by an alchemist, and I thought actually it's a cool name. And he also used to use that name on my work. He used to call me the color alchemist, and I thought it's a cool name. So let me run with it. Yeah.
All right. To that perspective, of course, umewachi movie flani series inaitwa The Alchemist.
Nimeisikia lakini sija
cheza na nini vitu kama hizi.
I think I know it. He was doing some illegal stuff. Nimeona but siku nini sana.
So Alchemist in the sense that now this art has to have details.
Alchemy basically is magic. So you're baking magic. Yeah, things out of the ordinary using normal things like paints and colors.
Right. Yeah. So I believe our viewer is watching this one. Hii yenye iko kwa background yetu leo, and will share with us your insight on the same, because ukiangalia the magnificence in it, you can relate to this environment.
So this view of Nairobi city, view from the top of the KICC building, and I love this because from this particular angle, you get to capture the life of Nairobi. Even if you see the time of the day, it's when the city is busiest. This was around evening, around 6 p.m. in the evening. View top, KICC. Yeah, so I think that's when the city is most alive, because you can see the traffic is busy. There are people rushing back home. Some of the offices are still operating. And that's what I wanted to capture, and I hope I did that well.
All right, ni kali sana. So if at all ungekuwa kwa rooftop ya KICC, ungepigia wapi tena to get another different angle on that?
Singekuwa kwa rooftop, ningekuwa maybe ground floor, because ungeza capture things as they are on the ground. Vile mnasemanga kwa ground vitu ni different, which is the real life of what people are really experiencing in real life. So most likely ingekuwa tu at the ground floor, and that will give me an opportunity also to capture things like the boda riders, very vibrant matatus, and people going about their business. Yeah, that's my next best view after this. Yeah.
So after you've taken the picture, you want now to sit on it. So how's the preparation in it, and are there areas zenye zinakupatia changamoto unasema iwacha hata ni wadanganya na kitu kidogo, then so long as see story but ikuje into perfection?
So what I normally do, first I'd would have loved to paint there in real life. Nichore hapo kwa nione live vile iko alafu nichore hapo. But now the challenge, it's possible, but the challenge now is Nairobi is a very busy city. I'll be a distraction to so many people, and also I won't be in that space that will allow me to be this creative. So what I did is just take a good high quality photo that will allow me to see the details, everything, and use it as a reference photo. Yeah.
All right, so everything that is in this one is totally on that picture you took?
Yes, I believe, but of course with a few tweaks and adjustments, like some exaggerations to make it more interesting. But basically when you see the photo, you'll automatically know this is the reference photo that I used for this painting.
So what brings the color out of it?
The color in terms of iko nini? Yes, just a striking contrast between light and dark hues, by use of complementary colors, blues for the tone, for the dull areas, and the orange, the yellows to areas that pop, like this area. So when you view it from afar, it gives this striking harmony.
Kweli. Hata ile time tukirecord ilikuwa ina shout vizuri sana. Then I said, hey, inaka real manzi.
Thank you. Yes.
It's really nice.
I'm happy you saw that, because that's what I was trying to capture.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I believe also the producer has also captured that as well. Na nikiangalia some of the arts that you've done here, it's the street of Nairobi, na ku understand to life vile inakaa kwa Nairobi, and badadi watu wako kwa nini. It's really amazing.
Thank you.
So when you see this reflection of life, people are moving around, the buses are there, the buildings are there, what really speaks to your mind?
Normally this you wouldn't want to be in this place at that time, because it's a hassle. Most people are tired to the point that we forget to see the beauty in the ordinary. But now when you are viewing it, saizi uko hapo, and you're not part of that hustle and bustle, so it allows you to see that beauty, the striking harmony between old and new architecture, people, boda riders, our very colorful and vibrant matatus. So it makes a good composition that ordinarily you wouldn't have seen if you are passing there at that time. So that's what I really try to capture in my art.
All right. Yeah. So what are some of the challenges that you've encountered?
The challenges I'd say was the biggest one was getting clients to buy my art. So when I was starting, it was very difficult. So remember, I was transitioning to this new career. So most people I know were not really interested in art, but I understand people are different. So yeah, I really struggled at first, but I started participating in group art exhibitions. And that helped me connect with more and more art collectors, and also posting on social media. I got some of my posts to go viral on X and TikTok, and that really helped me in getting more people to see my work. And because of that, I got more clients, and you see, now we are here. That's how we got to meet. Yeah, so social media has really been helpful to me. And without it, I'd really be struggling. Yeah.
And we are seeing that coming to life, and so many other creators want to do this as well. I believe many are there home watching, and they feel pia mimi naweza post yangu online na watu waione. So you posting this art online, what are some of the things you consider for everyone, not necessarily sisi wenye sasa tunataka an engagement, but watu waone manze umse ni mnoma. So what are the things wewe kama msanii you consider in posting them so that you have a greater attachment towards wale wanakufikia?
Okay, so what I do is I think this is what has been working for me. I could be wrong, but I try to make my social media pages about art and nothing else, so that when someone is interested in art, let's say he sees one post of a particular painting, or he'll assume that they're probably more on his profile. Let me checking out.
Okay.
Let me check out his profile. So when they do that, you try to keep that promise by making all the posts are mostly around art.
Indeed.
So that will help them connect with that.
Indeed.
And yeah, so far so good. It has worked. Imework vizuri kabisa. So yeah, imesaidia sana.
Sawa sawa. Can you talk about this one?
Okay. Hii ni gari.
Can say to kidogo hiyo, you know.
Hii ni gari iconic sana. Na I really love the design of it. Land Rover Series 1. And what I loved about this car, it's given me so many childhood memories. I had a neighbor who had one of these, and I remember going outside every day to check it out, to see how it has very basic shapes, basic design, very simple, but at the same time very beautiful. That's what I loved about it. And yeah, that gave me an inspiration to make this painting. Hii kuchukua time mob, because as you can see, tunaona ina details mingi nini, it's just basic, alafu it's just one subject on a pretty blur background, so haiku kawia.
So you'll take how long as compared to this one?
It's like roughly a week. But I normally work for yes. Kwa nini unacheka? Haina details mob, yeah, but lakini not working, say between 2 and 4 hours a day. Okay. Yeah, lakini hii on the other hand, because it's really detailed and it's very big. Actually, it measures 2 meters by 1.12. That's 112 centimeters. So it took me like a lot of time. That was 7 weeks. Yes, almost 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah, but yeah, it took a long time. But yeah, I'm very happy with the end result.
Indeed, it's very amazing. So inamaanisha you can do another copy like this?
Yes, I can do, but I try not to do the same things, because for the second time it becomes a bit boring, because you're already aware of the end result, because you saw it in the first one. So I try to challenge myself by doing something different every time I get an opportunity. Okay. So ningekuwa na hiyo choice ya kucreate ingine, I think ningefanya kitu different, maybe a different part of it, or a different city, or a different time of the day, or maybe when it's raining, so that it can be exactly the same as this one.
So let's talk about your time. Now, for instance, ilikuwa 7 weeks, and then you need engagement, you need, you know, unataka tu vitu fulani zi happen, zi work, ziende. So no, how do you establish your time to make sure everything that you had aspired? Maybe this one ulikusha your tight achukua time fulani, that hii time lazima hii stuff come to life.
Inakuanga kwa hizi, for the bigger paintings inakuanga ngumu kidogo, because simakwambia 7 weeks time kidogo kusema kweli. So hiyo ni kitu wezi fanya continuously, itakuwa boring. So what I normally do, just work on it for like 4 or 5 hours a day, at least 5 days a week. Kusahau kidogo ndo iska ku stress pia kichwa manini. I normally work out, hit the gym, maybe read a book, just try to escape from art. Ndio ukirudi kufanya kazi ikuwe sober na akili iko fresh, you excited about it, otherwise ingekuwa very boring. Yeah.
What is the art that you've made yenye haikukubamba sana bana?
Hiyo I think ilikuwa kitambo, and I think it was among the first time I was attempting to make these street paintings of Nairobi. I kutokea anywhere close to what I envisioned. So yeah, I wasn't happy with it. Nikaiweka, squeeze naangalianga tu nacheka manze, but nimeiweka for that purpose, inikumbushe mali nimetoka. Yeah, and I wish I knew ningeileta hapa so that you can compare it, but if I have the photos, I'll check them out, then I'll share them with you. I'm sure you'd be interested when you see them, the journey between then and now.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, so nani anakumotivate, as in sasa nani you're looking up to?
Interesting question, because I wouldn't say I have a particular role model in art, and that's because I try to borrow small little elements from so many artists. So huwezi sema ni mtu mmoja in particular, and most of them are people who are not popular or known. They're just random people on Instagram who had borrowed this, how a particular artist mixes her colors, the other one how she uses contrast, so many things. I always tell them what I love about their art, and so I wouldn't say it's anyone in particular who is my role model, but yeah, I borrow my style from so many people. So I'd say all the other artists out there are my role model. Kila mtu akona, everyone is different and stand out in their own way. Yeah.
So kwa hivyo tunasemanga aje ati umse ni mnoma. Nini nafanya tuseme nani Alchemist ni wazimu.
Okay, what I kitu naweza sema maybe nafanya ni stand out from the rest. I try not to do what everyone else is doing. And I love paying attention to detail. I try to capture the most intricate details. Kama ukiangalia, the only downside of that is that it takes a lot of time. And because not so many people are patient with that. Nikona wacha niende na hiyo njia. So it will help me, I believe that's helped me stand out from the rest. So I think, yeah, it's paying attention to the details and doing something that's a bit different from what the average artist is doing.
So I believe we're about to take a breather, and to that matter, how do you get your products? How do you get your canvas? How do you get your paints?
Oh, where I get my supplies? I see. First, by the way, I struggled with that when I was starting because the shops I knew, Kitambo, when that was selling art supplies, most of them were closed. You remember it was during the COVID period. So participating, like I told you, participating in these group art exhibitions, I also connected with so many artists upcoming and those who are seasoned. You nisaidia sana because they showed me how to navigate through this industry, where to get the supplies, good materials, paints, all that stuff. And yeah, now I have so many shops. I'm happy that nikikosa this product in shop A, na Jomali nitapata B, and so forth. Yeah, so thanks to the art community in the region.
Supplies zako zime run dry? Ujapata mahali?
Hiyo imehappen ya artist wengine, but kwangu not so much because I use not just preparation. Yeah, preparation is part of it, but I use oil paintings as opposed to acrylics or watercolors. Uzuri ya oil ikaukangi ikiwa nini inaweza kapo forever. So wewe ndio utafanya ikauke by use of what is it called, drying agents, mixing them. So based on that is you'll determine how fast or how slow you want your paint to dry. So you see challenge imekuwa kwangu, but if I was using paints like acrylics and watercolors, definitely ningetupa supplies mingi sana because ya kukauka. Yeah.
All right. Of course, the story on marketing and introduction to revenue, we'll do that in the second session. But us now to delve on, we've seen the streets now, and you mentioned earlier that you want to shift gears from this area to maybe other areas that maybe people are just sana kama in town.
Yeah, in town. Yeah.
So kuna zenye ulikuwa unasema you wanna go somewhere else that for a different environment.
Yeah, I think I've shown a little, imeonekana sana, nimechora sana, and some people were disappointed. They were like only showing the good side of Nairobi. And yeah, but they were right. I thought about it, and so they were right. So maybe try to expand my art so that not all usikwe na pieces zote zinaonyesha tu the same area, and Nairobi is big. It's not just that that tiny area. Archives, Kenyatta Avenue. Yeah, kuna River Road pia, kuna Ngara, kuna Mudhurwa, yes, bus station. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully expand by capturing more of those.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
So one of them utaanzia River Road.
Definitely. Hey, yo lazima. It's so nini. River Road, ni place inajulikana sana. Yeah.
All right. The environment makes you feel like you wanna capture this, you wanna make a moment out of this through your art.
Through my art, because like you said, the environment, it has those elements that makes ukiona tu hivi unajua hapa ni Nairobi. It could be anything. The boda riders, watu wakuza smoky, hawkers, again matatu, the buses za ku long distance. So how they stand out. There's a Nairobi from any other city in Kenya, in the world. So that's what I really try to capture. And on a river road, for example, it can be an opportunity to share that with the world.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Even as of course, this month we are also embracing the fact that there is mental health awareness. Through your pictures, how would you be able to shape that conversation?
How would my art? I wouldn't say by my work, but the process of it. Because another reason why I love art, by the way, it helps a lot in alleviating stress. So I'd encourage more people to do, to create, to do art. It's a good escape from the challenges we face in real life. So for this mental health awareness month, naweza taka encourage, whether you are an artist or not, just try to create something. It doesn't have to be good. It's the process that matters. And it's very healing, by the way. So I encourage them, to give it a try. Indeed. Yeah.
All right, so in the same context, you are a youth as well, and there's so many other youths that would have wanted to have this as their space, and sasa unaona kuna wengi wanajihusisha na mambo mbaya zingine, vitu zenye brothers make sense. What will be your take on that? Maybe inaweza kosa kwa art, but inaweza kuwa ni kitu kingine much stronger. What will be your take towards your younger people?
My younger people will be, I think, wasitumie vile mi naona, this is from I don't know if it's true, but I think a lot of the challenges they are going through, it's coming from comparing themselves with others, with what you see on social media. On social media, people only show things that are working, their glamorous lifestyle, and some could be lying, by the way, but they never show you how they got there. So they should focus on content creators, for example, who show you to get from point A to B to overcome those challenges. Otherwise, it will give you unnecessary stress. Utafeel ni kama you're not doing enough, but the problem is actually not you, what the world is showing you, and consuming too much of that information. Yeah.
Of course, for the first session, thank you so much for your lovely insights in the art industry. And of course, I believe if you're watching us for the first time, we're just having an insight with Victor Omondi, famously known as the Color Alchemist. So don't go too far. When we come back, we'll have now an understanding in how he gets revenue, or does art pay right in the Republic. Don't go too far. This is the Morning Drift. Welcome back. We are hosting Victor Omondi right here on Look Up Television, The Morning Drift, and the conversation is still ongoing. So we want to know, of course, now because to understand perception ya art yake, to understand what he is making, what he is creating. Now we want to understand, do you think that art sasa ina do, does it pay, and of course what's the essence of the revenues? Na pia ku understand kuna hiyo swali ambayo ilikuuliza about the digital era through the AI. So we'll understand also that perception from Victor Omondi to really understand the depths of this kind of art. Also, how can artists make value out of their art? So as we embrace this, remember, the conversation is still online, www.lookuptv.co.ke, rather on Facebook and YouTube. Yes, the hashtag The Morning Drift Artistic Thursday. Victor.
Yes.
Tuendelee bana. So we were saying about story na exhibition, na pia vile wasi wanaweza pata spaces za kuonyesha art yao.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, so how do you get revenue or market your art?
How I market my art, like I mentioned earlier before we started of the interview, I participate a lot in group art exhibitions, and that's I've gotten a good number. I got a good number of clients from participating in those exhibitions. The art collectors, people who saw an art and they were like, I love your art, but I wanted something a bit different with the twist. So that's where we exchange contacts, and the client tells me whatever she wants, and work around that. Na pia social media imenisaidia sana. Oh, hiyo nisha tuanze tena. Social media pia imenisaidia cause ukipost especially on TikTok and X, most of them go viral. Now I get a good number of DMs, so hapo zimenisaidia pia ku get clients. So what I'd urge the upcoming artists to do is post a lot and participate in this group art exhibition. Most of them are free, and you'll get to learn so much from fellow artists. Tunaweza jishuku bana alafu na nini zako hivyo zitaenda.
So how can we get these exhibitions? Maybe mseme tamani sana but zake tu ni watu wa jamii wanaziwatch.
Ziko online, just search ama munifollow pia kwa social media, utaziona. I share most of them on my status posts, but online pia ziko. Most of them happen annually, biannually, hauwezi kosa. Ni ngumu sana 2 ama 3 months ziende bila kukosa kuwa na any group art exhibitions. And on top of that, by the you can talk with some of these galleries, have an agreement, and decide on a date where you'll just showcase all your art that you do. Definitely you'll get people to buy your art from that.
Hebu sasa tuongelee story ya do sasa. Wewe unapatanga do?
Do, interesting question. Do kuna njia mingi sana za kumake do in this day and age. Ya kwanza ni just selling the artwork itself. But because art is expensive to so many people, what I usually do to get other people who can't afford maybe the original painting to buy art, I make prints, limited prints of, say, this painting. Una make a replica of it. They look almost similar, but because those ones are prints and they in large, there are more, let's say a dozen of them, you get to sell them for cheaper. So instead of selling an artwork, say for 300,000, you can sell it for as cheap as 7,500, 3,000, again, depending on the size. That's another way. And another way is you can make money from art. What I've seen other artists doing, I haven't really experimented much with it, is monetizing your content by sharing your process on social media platforms like YouTube, TikTok. I hear nowadays they pay creators. And those are 3 revenue streams. And you can also teach people how to create art, the process that goes into making your amazing paintings. That's also another revenue stream. So the opportunities are endless.
So opportunities kwa Wakenya are endless as well. And
so they're endless.
Some will say that wazungu or people from outer country don't wanapenda such kind of art, and they will embrace this and they're willing to pay.
Okay, I think pia not really. I think pia ni perception. Because again, as much as vile unasema wazungu wananuanga art, but pia Wakenya kuna wananunua art. Hata wewe tuseme ukiona kuna piece umeona ni mkosho itakubamba na umeniambia uko interested, wewe ni mzungu. So unaona so si wazungu peke yake wananini, so everyone buys that, but then again the cheaper ones doesn't limit limit watu watanunua your particular artwork. So I'd say it's everyone. But yes, for the expensive artworks, the big ones particularly, it's mostly foreigners who buy them. And I think it's because, not just because it's expensive, because this one, for example, you see, these are a painting of the skyline. When watanunua, for example, itakumbusha, I was in this beautiful city, let me take this artwork, nikiweka kwa ukuta yangu itanikumbusha the amazing time I had in Nairobi, Kenya.
Right.
Yeah.
So hii sijui niulize pole pole.
Uliza hata na nguvu.
Because I've seen two ladies right here, and maybe is that the motivation?
Not really. Mtu yuko lakini hapo for now yuko hapa saizi. Yuko kwa in this interview. Set is damjua yuko but yuko hapa. Akona shughuli zake zingine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But this motive not that. This one was I was trying it was more initwanga study. Yeah, you study so you can see both of them. Kwa mirror. So was testing out the what is it called? How the effects of reflections, refractions of water, how it affects the paintings. Indeed. And I mean the composition. Yeah, and that's what I was trying to capture.
Amazing.
But yeah, it has nothing to do with them to kufanya watu mtu akasirike.
Atakasirike.
Yeah.
Of course. Na siku moja basi umchore huyo mtu.
Hata anachorwa Yes, yes, mtaiona hivi suribani So hopefully tukimit next time utaona za mtu.
Mkiwa wote wawili.
Yo ita depend na pia.
So someone is out there and wants maybe a picture sasa umchore sasa kama yeye atoke kama hao tu wenye umewachora. What are the requirements?
Requirements for portraits. For portraits, it depends. I can paint them live, though sometimes that takes a lot of time. Ama naweza nitumia hata tu picha yao and share them with me. Depending on the size, we'll agree on how much I'll charge them. But bizangu ni mzuri, so I encourage them to reach out.
Mzuri in other contacts.
Mzuri as in affordable. Yes.
So kama hii sasa hii size. Hii size nilikuwa tunaongelea. Ama kama hiyo tu ya udem.
Okay, this size is 90 by 90. Hii ni about 100k, but unaona 90 by 90 ni kubwa na watu wengi watakangi vitu kubwa hivi sana. So hizi ziko na pali pake na that's iko hivyo. Na kama hiyo pia iko juu sana, like I said like I mentioned before, kuna affordable prints. So unaweza pata a smaller one for 7,000 only. Yeah.
All right, no worries. So we've embraced now revenue, how you make your money, how you can teach people how to make money as well. So there's also now the issue on digital technology and AI. Technology. Yeah. Of course, it has favored you since, of course, uko una post nini zako online. But now let's embrace now AI. Has it benefited you in one or the other, or it's a challenge?
I think AI has been a challenge in so many industries, but it also depends with how you look at it. It can work for you, and it can be a disruption too in whatever you're doing, depending on your field. The way I look at it in art, it has ironically increased the value of real art because there's been everyone is doing there are so many people have embraced AI, especially in Kenya. We are very good at adapting new technology. Yes, so because of that kumekuwa na AI arts mingi. People think that will affect artists, but then like I said, it depends with how you look at it. For example, this art, if it was AI, it would say it could have ingekuwa labda free or few depending on your subscription. But like now, because this was handmade, I took so many hours trying to create it. There's someone who appreciates that element of it, and that's the only thing they want. So I'd say ironically that has increased the value of this kind of paintings. Amazing. Yeah, so AI, it's a good thing when it's used correctly. and you shouldn't look at it as a disruption. You can only unaweza sema tu ni disruption ama it's a bad thing if it has affected you and directly and you've struggled to overcome the challenges that it has posed.
Okay, so right now the Ministry of Art is trying as much as possible kuleta adaptation to all this varieties na varieties, so every artist feels accommodated, either mtu wa muziki, mtu wa kuchora, everyone. So how will we have a standard foundation towards all these artists across the country kukuwa na stable ground ya kusema kwamba yenyewe art inalipa and mbele iko sawa?
Foundation naweza sema ingekuwa mzuri wange take into the orange economy. They take it more seriously the way they are taking. I'm not saying that they are not important. The careers in the academics, but as much they should take it more seriously, because every day I see music artists complaining of the revenues they're getting from those bodies that collect revenue from them.
Okay.
So yeah, I think they're doing it right, but maybe if we tone down on the corruption or eliminating it completely, it will really help artists, because I believe the structures are there.
Indeed.
Maybe we can just do a few adjustments on it.
Indeed.
Yeah, but the biggest one I'd say it's yeah, let's try not let's do away with corruption.
Indeed.
Yeah, so that revenue ifike wasanii bana.
Okay. So Victor, in a few years time, so in 5 years, so in the next 5 years as well.
Ultima few years.
5 years? You said 5 years.
Okay,
since 2020, so
okay. Oh yeah, I've done it for since 2020. Yes, it's 5 years because in 2025.
Indeed. So in the next 5 years and many years to come, where do you see this art, your art perhaps, and do you think there is also a sense of growth and yet come along na mzee tutakuwa tunasema bonge la show?
Yeah, in this next 5 years, things have been working well so far. So I'll keep pushing. I'm hoping that my art will be known not just in Kenya, but in the world. And yeah, in the meantime, I'll keep pushing and hopefully we'll get there.
So what do you expect? What are your plans in doing?
And always just doing more art, create more and more pieces, more interesting pieces, experiment with new styles that will improve your art, participate in more exhibitions within and abroad, and we'll see what that will be 2030. We'll see how's in store. Yes.
So as we get to the bottom line, earlier on you'd mentioned about the kind of art you do, the type of art you do.
Yes.
So you had mentioned earlier that now there is some specifics, details that you had really wanted to mention and to give it more weight.
Oh, the details, I think it had something to do with my style of art.
Indeed.
I mentioned it's contemporary realism.
Indeed.
Contemporary realism is basically the detailed and accurate depiction of day-to-day life,
Amazing.
people, highlighting the beauty in the ordinary.
Indeed.
As you can see in all these paintings.
It is.
Yeah, yeah, just that.
Nakumbuka HMD.
HMD,
Yeah,
ukipita hapo unaiona.
Kweli.
Yeah, so you tunaona just by that, you know, even by just small area unaweza tell hapo ni wapi.
Kweli.
Yes.
It really is. So
Yeah.
utakuwa unasaidia watu wa Google Map.
In a way, wanafaa ni haya by the way.
Kabisa.
Yes.
So there is the aspect of sasa the best motivation that you can tell someone, and I believe every artist anakwamba tuna that twitch ya kakitu tu that anaweza kuja tu awaambie na you guys now move on swiftly in the best way possible. So allow me now to give you this chance as the color alchemist,
Yes.
Victor Omondi himself, to just share with us something that will keep us moving even as we journey towards the art life.
As do you think these are going out to the aspiring artists?
Indeed.
Just start with what you have.
Indeed.
The supplies, they are cheap. Just create. Don't worry what people will think about, say, because I'd say an artist is that one person whose inner child survived.
Okay.
So whatever you want to do, just express it and share it with the world.
Amazing.
It will connect with someone, and you never know, something great will come out of that.
All right. Big
Yeah.
shout outs.
Shout out, I'd like to shout out my friends, all my followers, people who have supported this journey,
Indeed.
and everyone out there.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Kabisa.
There's so much to come.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We've been hosting Victor Omondi, famously known as the Color Alchemist, right here on Artistic Thursday on the Morning Drift at Look Up Television. So we've embraced art in the best way possible. We've marveled towards what we've seen here, and of course, this is entirely the perception of art and really understanding the you know how life is and the creativity in it and the environment that comes with it. So we live in these environments, and when you see them now, it brings more and more taste. So this is the hands of Victor Omondi himself. So see you tomorrow as we perfect Entertainment Friday. We'll be hosting gospel ministers to really understand their perception on art. Let's engage tomorrow morning for these purposes of understanding their art. Now, because Omondi has made a moment for us, we really appreciate sana.
Thank you so much.
Asante sana for making time.
Asante sana, Moses.
All right.
Yeah.
Sisi tuendelee tunai kazi basi. My producer has been Paul Kariuki, and of course our lovely Eugene. My name is Moses Okage. See you tomorrow.